Donald Trump just gave a completely deranged interview with Fox about the United States invasion of Venezuela. Donald Trump saying this was about taking their oil. And he says that even though China had special envoys in Venezuela, it doesn't matter because the United States is going to figure out how to deal with the oil. We're learning more information about the United States invasion and what happened with Maduro and Maduro's wife, Celia Flores. So Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, according to Natasha Bertrand, they were dragged from their bedroom by U.S. forces, by Delta Force, special forces, during the raid that led to their capture. They were put aboard the U.S. ship, the Iwo Jima, where they are now heading to New York. An indictment has been filed against them by the United States Department of Justice. More on that in a moment. But Donald Trump is asked about the future of Venezuela and their oil industry. And Donald Trump says, we're going to be strongly involved now in the Venezuelan oil industry. Here, play this clip.
The countries that negotiate with Venezuela for those that illegal oil are already starting to suffer. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say? We have the greatest oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved in it. We can't do something like this, and we're prepared. You know, we were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set, and this was so lethal, this was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it, but we were prepared for a second wave going in.
Then when Donald Trump is asked about the Chinese envoys who were in Venezuela, apparently at the time this raid was conducted, this invasion was conducted, Donald Trump says they're not going to be a problem. They'll get oil. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, what do you make of the fact that just hours before the airstrike, there was a Chinese delegation meeting with Nicolas Maduro, and we have yet to hear from China any sort of comment on the attacks?
I know nothing about that, but I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and there's not going to be a problem. And they're going to get oil. We're going to allow people to have oil. But we can't take a chance after having done this incredible thing last night of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. You know, when I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible. It's really horrible.
Could you tell us, Mr. President?
I'll play you some clips in a little bit as well where Donald Trump threatens Mexico and says Mexico may be next. But here Donald Trump describes the invasion of Venezuela as being like a TV show, he says. He goes, I watched it like I would watch a TV show, and it was amazing. The speed, the violence. Here's what he says. Here, play this clip.
So you've had quite a busy evening. Tell us about it.
It was slightly busy, I would say. It was very dark all over, especially in Venezuela. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that can do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen the speed, the violence, you know, they say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these...
He claims that no Americans were killed in this operation, although he says Americans were injured. He believes a few guys were hit, and he believes maybe a helicopter was hit as well. Here, play this clip right here.
You know, that we had nobody killed was amazing. I think we had nobody killed, I have to say, because a couple of guys were hit, but they came back and they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. But that we had nobody killed, that we lost no aircraft, you know, everything came back. We got it all back. One of them was hit pretty hard, but a helicopter, but we got it back. But it just was the right time to do it. We had to do it because it's a war. We're losing 300,000 people.
And it does seem that there are civilian casualties in Venezuela. I want to get an accurate reporting on what that is, but there does seem to be fatalities in Venezuela. Donald Trump then attacks Democrats and says that they should say, gee, great job, great job. Why are they saying, oh, this may not be constitutional? You know, it's the same old stuff that they keep on talking about. They should not be telling me that what I did was not constitutional and just say thank you. Here, play this clip.
The Democrats, maybe they'll take a shot. You know, they'll take a shot. Oh, all they do is complain. They don't talk about, they should say, you know what, we did a great job. We're stopping drugs from coming into this country. And nobody's been able to do it until we came along. But they should say, great job. They shouldn't say, oh, gee, maybe it's not constitutional. You know, the same old stuff that we've been hearing for years and years and years.
While this is taking place as well, you have J.D. Vance saying that the reason for this invasion of Venezuela was oil. J.D. Vance writes, the president offered multiple off-ramps, but was very clear throughout this process the drug trafficking must stop and the stolen oil must be returned to the United States. Maduro is the newest person to find out that Trump means what he says. Kudos to our special operators who pulled off a truly impressive operation. Just notice the language to a special operation to seize back the oil they stole. It sounds very Putin-esque right there. We're also getting a statement right now from Mark Warner, the top Democrat on the Senate Intel Committee, who was not briefed about this. The Senate, the House were not briefed. This was entirely unconstitutional. Senator Warner said the following: our Constitution places the gravest decisions about the use of military force in the hands of Congress for a reason. Using military force to enact regime change demands the closest scrutiny precisely because the consequences do not end with the initial strike. If the United States asserts the right to use military force to invade and capture foreign leaders it accuses of criminal conduct, what prevents China from claiming the same authority over Taiwan's leadership? What stops Vladimir Putin from asserting similar justification to abduct Ukraine's president? Once this line is crossed, the rule that restrains global chaos begin to collapse, and authoritarian regimes will be the first to exploit it. None of this absolves Maduro. He is a corrupt authoritarian who has repressed his people, stolen elections, and imprisoned political opponents, and presided over a humanitarian catastrophe that has forced millions of Venezuelans to flee. The Venezuelan people deserve democratic leadership, and the United States and the international community should have done far more years ago to press for a peaceful transition after Maduro lost a vote of his own citizens. But recognizing Maduro's crimes does not give any president the authority to ignore the Constitution. Donald Trump, going back to his deranged interview with Fox, Donald Trump says regarding Delta Force, you couldn't hold them back. They were so excited to do this invasion. Here, play this clip right here.
Think about it, and you almost couldn't hold them back. It was like they wanted to go so badly, and most people would have said, I'll take a pass. I know that Charlie would have wanted to go because Charlie's a very brave person, but I know a lot of other people would have said, I think I'll pass on this one. Let's watch it on television. It's been amazing to see how good they were, how professional they were, how incredible the equipment we have is. I mean,
meanwhile, it should also be noted that Diosdado Cabello, the Minister of the Interior, who's, as Thomas von Linge describes, the Maduro regime's enforcer, has now appeared in public. Cabello has appeared in public showing any reports about his death or capture were false. He's the real kind of enforcer behind this regime, and the Venezuelan regime appointees, the governors of the various states, Bolivar, Yaracuy, Táchira, and others, have all come out with statements saying that they're still in control, and even with Maduro being gone, They're controlling their territories. These Maduro-appointed governors said that they're in firmly control over their respective states. And with Diosdado and the defense minister as well, still saying that they're in charge and they're in power. You have lines forming. Thomas Van Lynch is doing great reporting here. Lines are forming outside of the grocery stores in several neighborhoods of Caracas, like Los Palos Grandes in the east, as Venezuelans are stocking up on food now for the tense days ahead. Back to this deranged Fox interview. Here's where Donald Trump threatens to attack Mexico next. And he's like, Claudia Sheinbaum, you could be next. Here, play this clip.
Good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's very, she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. They like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know. Yeah. But they come in through the southern border, and something's going to have to be done with Mexico.
Trump is asked if he'll throw his support around opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. And Donald Trump then says, well, there's a vice president right now in Venezuela, and Delcy Rodriguez. And Donald Trump doesn't know her name, though. And then Donald Trump says, starts attacking the 2020 election. And he says the election was rigged and that's how Maduro won. And Biden's election, the election was rigged. That's how Biden beat me. So Maduro got into power the way Biden beat me in the election. And then Trump spreading lies about the 2020 election. Here, play this clip.
Are you going to fully support her to take over to run the country?
Well, we're going to have to look at it. Right now, they have a vice president, as you know. I mean, I don't know about what kind of an election that was, but, the election of Maduro was a disgrace, just like my election was a disgrace. 2020 was a disgrace, and, a real disgrace. Now, 2024 was too big to rig, but what he did was, his was open. I would say, frankly, you want to know the truth? I think Charlie would testify this. It wasn't a hell of a lot worse than what they did to us in 2020. It was our election was a disgrace in 2020.
Then Donald Trump makes a joke while speaking with the Fox and Friends morning show about all of this. When they ask him, what did you decide to do this morning? And Donald Trump's like, you mean give you a call? Here, play this clip.
Why did you decide to do this morning?
Are you talking about calling you people or the shot?
No, taking out.
I'm not sure which is worse. If you want to know the truth.
Trump then attacks Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern. Let me share this with you.
You're already getting reaction from members of Congress on both sides. One Democrat, Jim McGovern, is saying that you did not get authorization from Congress. And he says Trump just launched an unjustified illegal strike on Venezuela. Wanted to get your reaction to that.
Well, look, these are weak, stupid people, and they're trying to save themselves from almost destroying our country. If I didn't get elected, our country would not. I don't even think we'd have a country right now. We were heading down the path of destruction. We had inflation. We had high prices. They're the ones that caused high prices, not us. We're bringing the prices way down. We have oil now in many places $1.99 a gallon. And when you do oil, everything follows, but everything is following. But no, they would have destroyed our country if we didn't get elected. If Kamala or a Joe type got elected, if that group got elected. But if Kamala got elected, I don't think at this point we would even have a country. We were laughed at all over the world. The money was flowing out. Everybody was leaving. The companies were leaving. The people were leaving. The wealth was leaving. We have $18 trillion coming back into our country, the biggest number in the history of the world. This
And then Donald Trump starts saying that one of the reasons that America invaded Venezuela is that they emptied out mental institutions and mental asylums into the United States, because Donald Trump doesn't know the difference between insane asylums and immigration political asylum. Here, play this clip.
Venezuela, but look, tremendous numbers of people were being killed through drugs, and what they did to our country in sending prisoners and mental people from mental institutions and drug lords and everything. They sent them by the hundreds of thousands of people into our country. And that is just unforgivable. That's why, he wanted to negotiate at the end, and I didn't want to negotiate. I said, nope, we got to do it. He was trying to negotiate at the end. You probably saw that. And trying hard to make a deal. And I said, this could have been a very foolish thing if it didn't work out. But I said, nope, we can't do it. What he did with drugs is bad. What he did with a lot of other things is bad. But what he did was sending hundreds of thousands of Tren de Aragua and drug dealers. And they emptied out their jails into our country. They emptied out, if you think about it, they emptied out all of their mental institutions into our country. What he did there, and every other thing, is unforgivable.
So when people from Venezuela seek political asylum, Donald Trump believes that they're that they're from mental institutes and that they're getting mental asylum. Trump also says that the invasion of Venezuela was planned 4 days ago, but because of weather, the dates had to be changed. Here, play this clip right here.
So we were going to do this 4 days ago, but the weather was not perfect. The weather has to be perfect. And we had just the perfect weather. We had, very good. A little bit few more clouds than we thought, but it was good. We waited 4 days. We were going to do this 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. And then all of a sudden it opened up and we said go.
Trump refers to the other one that we did as the attack on Iran. Here, play this clip from earlier in the year. Play this clip.
We did another one not so long ago. It was called the knocking out of the Iranian nuclear threat, the nuclear power. And that was unbelievable what they did there. And this is something that, I don't know, it's amazing. And to have a few injuries, but no death on our side is really amazing.
Then Donald Trump keeps talking about how the military had to get through the steel doors. Anyway, here, play this clip.
Broke in and they broke into places that were not really able to be broke into, with steel doors that were put there for just this reason. And they got taken out in a matter of seconds. I've never seen anything like it. Actually.
And you were able to watch this in real time.
Yeah, and don't forget, I've done some pretty good ones in other parts of the world. Okay, I've done some pretty good ones, but I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect.
We have a copy of the indictment right now. We'll share. This is the indictment from Pam Bondi that has been unsealed. The United States of America versus Nicolas Maduro. You see it right there. Celia Flores, her wife. Notably, you'll see on the indictment as well, the United States indicts Diosdado Cabello Rondon. That's the guy I was telling you about, the enforcer who has not been captured at this point. Hector Rutherford Guerra Flores as well, being indicted in this by the Department of Justice from the Southern District of New York. Southern District of New York, also where the Epstein prosecution took place. That's where Trump said he just discovered the 1.2 million Epstein records as well. We're getting statement from the Foreign Minister of France, Jean-Noel Barrot. The military operation that led to the capture of Nicolas Maduro contravenes the principles of the non-use of force that underpins international law. That's what French Foreign Minister Jules Baron is saying. And then I think we're getting statements from Pam Bondi as well, saying that Nicolas Maduro is being charged with narco-terrorism and he's being charged with weapons possession and things. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.